Who are you supporting? Just who are you with right now, Jerry?
Santorum.
Santorum.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul.
Jerry.
Could not be more opposite ends of the conservative spectrum. I mean, that perfectly, I think, sums up the dilemma that a lot of conservatives
Mirror
are having.
images of each other.
Right.
Some are saying. Santorum and Paul. Jerry, how many times have you been with Santorum all along, or how many times have you changed your mind?
Well, I changed my mind quite often, to be honest with you. We started out, my first endorsement was for Michelle Bachmann, and then when she dropped out, then both my wife and I changed our endorsement to Ron Paul, to Santorum.
So today it's Rick Santorum.
It is
Tomorrow, who
Santorum.
knows?
But only
Well,
once.
no, we're sure it won't matter tomorrow.
Right.
Not for us.
So were you the same? Were you Bachman before Santorum?
I was, and it took quite some time. It was only up until recently that we actually decided to go with Michelle, and we think alike, but we are independent of each other too. It's not that we
Was
decided
Michelle
to go.
Bachmann for you a principled Tea Party choice? Did you think about that
Yes.
when you looked at the candidates? Who most represents the Tea Party?
Chairman of the Congressional Tea Party Caucus. I mean, she started out, and we've met her a number of times
Yes.
as well.
But well, I don't know if I cared about whether or not she was a Tea Party person.
Okay.
I just looked at her pennant to love the Constitution, to be stalwart and trustworthy, and someone who is very conservative.
Did you ever flirt with Herman Cain?
Yes,
Let me
we
rephrase.
looked at everyone. No, as a matter of fact, I did flirt with Herman Cain. We had dinner.
He was sort of the.
How'd that go?
I was there.
Yeah, he was there.
He was sort of the Tea Party candidate for a while. So was
I
he ever
never-
a consideration?
I never considered him a Tea Party candidate, but we've considered all of them and looked at every single one of them. And there are certain properties that each candidate has that is sort of winsome, and you want to say, oh yeah, that's a great
Jane
thing.
and Tom, I can only assume you've been with Ron Paul for a long time.
No.
Am I right? No, really?
No.
When did you arrive at Ron Paul?
Well, for me, I was, because I've been studying him for 30 years, and his supporters started the Tea Party here in New England in 2007. So we were sort of the original Tea Party that no one wanted to pay attention to until it became a wider movement in 2009. And I think now we have more people on board because, well, if you were going to ask me the next question about what makes him a Tea Party candidate for me, he's talking about a lot of issues a lot of the other candidates don't talk about.
That's for sure. Tom, you just recently arrived at Ron
Yeah,
Paul?
the middle of October.
Really? Where were you before?
All over the place. I was evaluating every candidate equally. I put together a matrix, actually, to evaluate them all in depth.
Wow.
And with about a dozen other people, we spent about 1,000 hours, the group of us. And I went in supporting, I was leaning in Gingrich's direction. I came out supporting Ron Paul.
And what was it about Ron Paul?
The Federal Reserve, the currency, banking, fiscal, economic. Yeah, I went to an economic seminar in October and learned a lot about banking and currency, and it all came together for me.
Guys, here's the trouble I'm having. So basically, I think everyone's name but Romney and Huntsman mentioned at the table. You guys, before being at Santorum, were at Bachmann. I heard Gingrich's name. Here's the thing for me. I look at all these guys. We're talking about Santorum, Ron Paul, Michelle Bachmann, Herman Cain was mentioned. And I see people who are very different. They had different platforms, different values and principles in my mind. So when I say, why is the Tea Party moving among these candidates, I can't see the common thread, the thing that unites these guys, whereas whatever that thread is, Romney lacks it. What is the thread that I'm missing?
Well, I believe that the Tea Party is made up of a lot of different groups, a lot of independent thinkers, if you will. That's why we're not the lemmings marching off the cliff. Is the Tea Party's got libertarians, social conservatives, fiscal conservatives, and it's made up of actually middle America, if you will. That silent majority you heard about before, that's us. That's who we are. We're the working class middle Americans, and that's why we're really all over the map, if you will, on